Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith of Smith in the Black with the Strat Time Report, and it's getting a little dicey out there, and here's what I mean by that. So you want to keep an eye on. The SPY does what it's been doing. Look at this. Gap up, puke. Gap up, puke. Gap up, puke. And now we're stuck in here, right? So we're still in an inside day here. Right, so hasn't broken yesterday's highs or lows, which we were kind of expecting, but we got this nice down move to open the day, and now just kind of sideways sitting in here. The thing that's important though is it's Tuesday, which means that we have four separate openings of this 60 daily, weekly, and monthly. So when this 60 starts going back red, we just got a new 60. That's full time frame continuity to the downside. That's what I'd want to know about, right? Because so far we're nowhere near taking out the daily opening. Right, so anytime this goes red and can give us a signal like below here, the next hour, if we can break below 445.49, that gets my attention because that's a two up, two down reversal and full time frame continuity to the downside. If we go to QQQ, handily inside day. But once again, red on the month, red on the week, red on the day, albeit inside day, but here, shooter counters hammer and red on the 60 on the new 60. So you'd get the signal below 376.54 here in the next hour, and that would be another reversal down with full time frame continuity to the downside if they want to hit them. If you go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, and this is called a one bar rev strat. The inside day gaps up and then goes outside day, but these 2 days are still within this daily range. Hasn't taken that out. Now you're inside on the 60 for the Dow, and we know the Dow's flirting here and taking out that 2 monther. Still an inside week, still a 2-day inside pattern, but anytime these things are red on all time frames, something I'd want to know about, especially if it can go 212 down here on the 60 below 347.27 would get my attention. Small cappage, IWM here. Potentially an outside day to the downside because it gaps up on the hammer and comes back in. But once again, all this red. And now you can see this pokes down a little bit, doesn't fall apart. But for the next hour, it has my attention below 221.59 if they're going to take some of this stuff out. We know it's just a chop shop here on the month for the most part. But, we follow the signals as we see them. We also have an Apple event coming up here. iPhone 13 or whatever they're going to do, or vegan options in the Cupertino cafeteria, whatever they're going to talk about, but they are going to talk. So we'll see. Apple, as of right now, still an inside day, right? But once again, you can see red on the month, red on the week, red on the day. So anytime this 60 starts going red, that's going to get my attention, right? If they're going to start going down, that's what they're going to look like. If we go to some of the problems that we're having here, some of the bigger movers are still inside days, and they have big enough ranges, like a Moderna. So Moderna having a nice day, but still inside day, and that tells me we could stall out, all right? But still an inside week and in conflict. It's red on the week, it's green on the month, it's green on the day. So just want to be aware of that when you're looking at things. That's why we always look at 4 time frames to see what's going on, because that's still an inside day, right? Doesn't mean it can't take it out, but it is what it is, and that tells you, on the new 60 could easily stall out. What's going on here? NPH. Watching my scanner for anything that's hitting here. ENPH potential outside day, just not doing much, but does take an inside 60 down right now. If you go to BNTX, once again, nice point gainers, but still an inside day, right? So you always want to be aware of that, so that's going to stall out, maybe go inside on the 60. So we'll see how that goes. Keeping an eye on these broader averages now that we have a new 60 trying to go red. But if we go to ADGI. ADGI, once again, nice range for the day, but still an inside day, which tells me stall out, right? 3-1er. Outside day, inside day coming. That would get my attention tomorrow, even though it's red on the week. It's a newer issue, but you can see how much range there is. Real nice range. And so it's tradable. It's just the follow-through going to be a little tough if you're an inside day. If you go to DOCS Docs, another one. Nice range, but inside on the day. And conflict at the week. You got an inside 60 right now if they're going to bring her in a little bit. If you go to SEER, once again, nice range, but still an inside day. Still a 2-week to the downside too as well, and Doji on the month, and that tells me stall out. So if we go to Mr. Softy Microsoft, And Microsoft here looking to be an outside week. Once this goes green and you're coming back to the previous range, we're looking for an outside week. So we'll be looking to take this out here over 302.14, right? And if that's so, it's also RevStrat because this was an inside week, then down, but now an outside week trying to take that up. And you get that 2-2 reversal on the daily. Stop all these guys out. 2-2 coming back through previous range. Microsoft still on the month, not doing much is the problem for some of these things. If we go to Deckers, and Deckers having a nice little day here and tried to go 2-2 down on the month, but then gets countered by the week. See this slight lower low in the week? Stop them out, tri-style. 2-2 reversal on the weekly coming back through here. We're looking to go 3-monther and go take out the highs on Deckers. See if that sets up again for us. If we go to AMD, AMD not really ripping, but you got your hammer and your back up a little bit. So maybe stalls out here a little bit. You're still red on the month. You can watch that with the SMHers. And the SMH trying to take that hammer counter shooter, but just kind of sitting there, not really ripping. Texas Instruments also having a nice little day, and you can see this inside 60 to the upside, reconfirming Momo hammer. Right, so anybody got short this yesterday, got trapped in here, and then boom, up on them, and you can see this hammer month trying to go into the highs. Texas Instruments. If we go to the team, and the team tried to go inside weekend down, but then goes 1 bar RevStrat, boom, outside to the upside. Had a nice few 60s here, now stalling out a bit after coming through the previous range on the daily and going into the highs. Exhaustion risk, but this is a nice little reversal here. The 2 down, the 2 up team. If we go to Crocs, yeah, I know. But there it is, Crocs. And Crocs comes up here, new highs, outside monther. Stopped them out on the week, 2-2 week to the upside, 2 down by taking out the lows, and then boom. And this is a 2-2-2 on the daily. Ooh, now just stalling out on that 60. Go to ZBH. And ZBH, the 1 bar RevStrat day, inside day pokes down. Then as soon as it went green here, we're looking for an outside bar, and then you got some more in here. Because if that works, then you get this potential outside weaker to try and change that month back up. Now inside 60, we'll see if that takes this out and stays over 147.50. You're there right now. Downside, some financials getting hit. Inside bar on the FAS, 1 bar RevStrat, 1-3 to the downside. Right, and so anytime these things, all 4 of these are red, you got full time frame continuity to the downside. So you got stuff like PNC coming down here over there, and that tells you can look at KRE with the regional banks. Right, regional banks coming down as well. Now you've got an inside 60 for KRE. Going to the gappers real quick, JCS. And JCS here, so when I teach people to stay on the 30-60 gaps, right? Inside 60. Boom, off she goes over 839, trading 930, almost $1 out of that. Nice percentage gains for you. If we go to EMN, Eastman Chemical, and inside month to the downside here, and you can see this thing getting hit pretty hard. Now new 60, but it was right out the chute. You can see this on the 60. And I get this question all the time too. Does the closing bar matter on the intraday? I'm like, it does. This is a 2-2 reversal, and if that works, that's going to go take this out, and it's going to reconfirm the inside month and down, and you're going to have full time frame continuity to the downside. Some of the themes we've been watching for a while, the rails, transports, CSX still going. Union Pack here, Norfolk Southern, these rails all still having all sorts of trouble here. We're keeping an eye on these futures now because we're starting to come in a bit on these 60s Qs, trying to take this out. Dow Jones or the SPY getting ready to take this out, so be careful. You got full time frame continuity to the downside kicking in, and some real trouble here in the gamblers. So one of the things we're looking at here was on the monthly for Wynn Resorts, are we going to hammer and go back up, or shooter weak and counter that and come back down for a potential outside month? We got that shooter down, and there she goes. And if you go to LVS, you're going to see that opening inside 15er and Uke. Boom. Same deal over here. Potential outside month getting closer to it. So Win and LVS having some issues. If we go to ATER. ATER had that nice gap and run yesterday, right? And then today, boom, 2-2 reversal. 2 up, 2 down. And that kicks in here below 14.19. Trading 11.40 on a percentage basis. That's nice, and there's a nice inside 15er for you. Right. Cha. If we go to BIIB. And BIIB, inside day, pokes up, boom, 1-2-2 rev strat. And if that works, it's going to kick back into full time frame continuity to the downside, red on all time frames, and reconfirm the inside month to the downside. Right? So BIIB having some issues here. If we go to MEG, Med. And Med, slight higher high on the week, 2 up, 2 down week, boom. Right? So once again, anytime this has a red 60, that's full time frame continuity to the downside. And you're coming back to a previous range, which means anybody who got long in here, guess where they're long from? Wherever they got in, or well-known pivots, all this kind of stuff. So looking to take all this stuff out, right, and go take out these to the low. So here, 218.12. So you got a little bit more on that. We got some drugs still. Lilly, 2-2 reversal month, 2 up, 2 down, right? Below 243.50, right? Still having some problems there. If we go to Bristol Myers, 2 up, 2 down in the month from the weekend vid, and still going down. I think Merck is joining that party as well. Merck's having some issues here too, so some of them druggies having some issues. If we go to the Dow Jones, you're going to see IBM. IBM 312 Chicago. Outside day, inside day, down, right? And if that works, we're going after that inside month here. 137.21, right? Took it out. Inside month to the downside, IBM. Also in the Dow having problems is Triple M. We've known about this, right? Taking out 5 months of lows. Is that good? No. No. It's still going, right? Here you had the outside day yesterday. So that means this buying was rejected, and it's still being rejected going to the south. Losing the Qs just a tad here, folks. All right, we got that 222 on the old 60. If we go to SMG, inside day to the downside. This thing's been having all sorts of problems. Look at this for months. Here was your 2-2 reversal month. 2 up, 2 down, 2 down, 2 down, 2 down, 2 down, 2 down. Just cratering here still. Just some exhaustion risk as it's going into the recent lows. So when you took out this inside day, we're looking to take these guys out, right? Which it did, and now it's inside on the 60, pokes up a little bit, so just a little bit of a stall out. If we go to MRCY, oh boy, talking about all sorts of trouble here, and more full time frame continuity, except the 60 just pokes up here a little bit, but you can see this thing has just been a disaster. So we'll see if that continues. You can also keep an eye on General Dynamics, firming up just a little bit, but you do have that shooter, 2 up, 2 down week, potential 3-monther, and that tells you to keep an eye on LMT here. Also having some problems taking out last month's lows, going after the 60, and Northrop Grumman. Here, look out. Inside month to the downside, going after RevStrat 60. Inside bar, slight higher high, boom, for the next hour. I want to know about this below 350.24. You're there right now. If we go to HLF. Gap list, still puking, having some tough times going on. We're losing the futures. We're losing the broader averages. Here, once again, are your levels for the next hour. Below here, right? 445.49, down she goes. QQQ. Below here, 376.54, down she goes. Dow Jones Diamonds. Inside down off the 60, below 347.27. So they're weakening a little bit, but also remember we got a lot of inside days. We've got an Apple event to keep an eye on that stock, potentially an inside day and down if they don't impress, and oftentimes they don't, because we already know what they're going to say usually. Without Steve Jobs, oh yeah, one more thing. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, Smith and Black, with the Strat Time Report.